Good morning. Welcome to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. We have such a exuberant, lively crowd here this morning. We've been doing some gardening outside and just welcoming this amazing summer day here in Pittsburgh. So wherever you are at home, in the comfort of your living room, wherever your space is, we welcome you here to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. Unity is a spiritual philosophy. It is a positive way of living, and Unity was founded well over 100 years ago on the deep knowing that we are all divine expressions of God, of life, of creation. And so when we come here this morning, every Sunday, we come with a joyful, exuberant feeling of gratitude. So let's begin this morning, as we usually do, with our vision and our mission statement. Please join with me. We envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Envisioning that in your mind, what would that look like to you? Let's say that one more time. We envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. And to serve that purpose, we have a mission. So let's recite our mission statement together. We are an inclusive, loving, growing community dedicated to teach, inspire, and practice positive spiritual living. We're here together to teach, to inspire one another, and to practice. And part of our inspiration comes from our speaker this morning, which is Reverend Patti Perhacs. Part of it comes from our prayers and our meditations. And part of it comes from the music that we infuse into this Sunday service. So I'd like to introduce to you our musicians this morning, Mila Shadell and Marika Reed. Please begin.
Let there be less of me. Let there be more of thee. Less of the human, more of the divine. Less that belongs to me, more that is thine. God's nature, and less that is mine. Order and harmony now are in place. Where there is harmony, discord will cease. Where there is harmony, there will be peace. Not personality, individuality. More of the Christ self shining through me. Teach me humility. Let me your servant be. Give me serenity. Selfless and free. Order
let's take some of those lyrics into our opening prayer as we just breathe into this moment, feeling the love, the divine, moving through us and in us and living as us. And we say, good morning, God. We welcome more of the divinity that is our true nature. We allow this divinity to grow within us, to fill us with joy. And as we feel this divinity, we are in harmony. We are in harmony with God essence. We are in harmony with one another. And this harmony grows outward into our life experience. We affirm and welcome harmony in our relationships, in our work, in our entire life experience. We're willing to serve harmony and bring it out into the world. We thank you, Spirit. We thank you for infusing us with this harmony, and we affirm that it is so. Amen. We have a beautiful song to follow this prayer, and it is the God chant. And I invite you to join in the refrains.
Yes, participation is crucial, not mandatory, but highly encouraged. So just repeat after me.
God is the source of all I see. God is the source in me. God is the light in which I'm seeing.
Perfect.
God is the light in me. God is the mind that I am thinking. God is the mind in me. God is the source and God is the light. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me. God is the mind in me. God is the voice which I am hearing. God is the voice in me. God is the dance which I am dancing. God is the dance in me. God is the laughter I am laughing. God is the laugh in me. God is the joy which I am feeling. God is the joy in me. God is the strength which I am trusting. God is the strength in me. Sing it, tell it, shout it, dance it. Ooh. God is the strength in me. Ooh. God is the strength in me. God is the strength in me. All together now. God is the strength in me.
Oh, it sounds like you guys all got your vocal warm-ups in before service. Good job.
That was just awesome, wasn't it? Isn't it wonderful to affirm your truth? Isn't it? Doesn't it feel empowering to know that you are the attributes of God? And you take these affirmations with you and you explain them and you assert them out into the world. It's empowering. My hairs are standing up. So we're going to now light our Christ candle. As we mentioned earlier, the Christ consciousness, the essence of God is the consciousness that exists within you. God is the mind in you, and you can touch it and feel it through your thinking, through your words, through your actions. So when we light this candle every Sunday, it's a reminder of what we are. And as Jesus reminded us, you are the light of the world. So let us join together now with our powerful unity principles. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Through prayer and meditation, we increase our conscious contact with God, bringing forth love, wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them, and so we do. I always like to point out in our third principle that all people are inherently good. Some do not know this. Even we sometimes fall into doubt or insecurity. And so let us, in our consciousness, uplift this truth for all of humanity. We have a beautiful song which will now come forth, and it is The Power of Now, where we live in the now.
connecting us all to the one, the power of now unfolds so peacefully. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now. The power of
Thank you so much, Mila and Mariko. Now I would like to invite our good friend Jan Kalin to come forth. She will be sharing with us the daily word and the blessing for our children.
Good morning. So today's daily word is generous. As I give, I share in God's abundance. The limitless resources of infinite spirit flow through my loving heart and clear mind as a never-ending supply of divine ideas. I always have all that I need to live abundantly, and I share my abundance with others joyfully and freely. I give generously out of my resources, talents, and skills, happy to support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, and encouragement. I give generously of my time. I am a good friend, a devoted family member, and a compassionate listener. Whenever I give without thought of reciprocation, I center myself in the divine flow. I am a grateful, trusting recipient of Spirit's unfailing generosity and a conduit through which all of God's blessings flow. And from Proverbs, a generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will get water. Now I invite you to join me in repeating our affirmation 3 times. As I give, I share in God's abundance. As I give, I share in God's abundance. As I give, I share in God's abundance. And now we have the blessing of our children. Bring into your mind the children in your lives, your family, your friends. Hold in your heart the children you know and love, and feel that love expand to children around the world. May all children share in God's abundance to live their own divine selves, full of imagination, creativity, and love. May they receive praise, gratitude, and encouragement, and always be loved as their true spiritual selves. We recognize and honor children everywhere. We send our light and love to all the children and bless them as the true light of God. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a beautiful blessing. Thank you. I was so grateful to have Jan and her wonderful, clear voice and her insight. As we move now into prayer more deeply, let us align with the power and presence that is within us always and uplift our minds in prayer. And as we pray, we allow the goodness that already exists for us to flow into our life expression. Let us affirm that again. The goodness that already exists for us in the mind of God flows now into our expression. We invite abundance, harmony, health, wholeness, and joy to bubble forth. Here and now, we say, thank you, God. Thank you for the goodness that already exists for us in this infinite, intelligent mind of God. We access this mind through our heart and mind, and we are open to receive it. Let us sing together our beautiful I Send My Love as we share this love and this mind with all of humanity.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the seas. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the seas. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace into the seas. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Mila, let us continue just a gentle background of that melody now as we move into our meditation. And let us affirm and ponder the reciprocal nature of this love we call God. The reciprocal nature that flows through us and within the heavens, within our hearts, back and forth. For we know as we send our love, it is returned to us tenfold, 1,000-fold. And we easily and effortlessly receive this love, feeling it move through us, enlivening us. Every cell of your body awakens to this love more fully. Feel that love growing in each and every atom and molecule within you, dancing, enlivening, vigorous spirit, we welcome your love. We feel it moving through our fingertips. Brilliant light of love. growing and flowing through our limbs. We draw more and more up through our legs, through the soles of our feet. As Mother Earth so generously gives love and light. And we feel this love and light growing in our heart space. Radiant, effervescent joy. Feel it grow up through the crown chakra. Surrounding your aura with light. You are the glowing vessel of God. As we send this love out into the heavens, it is returned to us. And feel that love as we send it out now to our global planet, surrounding our earth with love, fully supported by this intelligent mind of God. We envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Brothers and sisters, we envision a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Now draw that back into your bodies, all of the light and color of the rainbow. You are invigorated with this love and light. Breathe it in deeply. And open your eyes again into this space as we say, thank you, God. We are one with you. I would like to reintroduce to you now our beautiful musicians, Marika Reed and Mila Shadell.
No, I'm not colorblind. I know the world's black and white. Try to keep an open mind, but I just can't sleep on this tonight. Stop this train. I wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in. I know I can, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? generations length away from fighting life out on my own. Stop this train, I wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in. I know I can, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? So scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. So I play the numbers game to find a way to say that life has just begun. Had a talk with my old man, said help me understand. He said turn 68, you'll renegotiate. Don't stop this train, don't for a minute change the place you're in. Don't think I could never understand. I tried my hand, honestly, we'll never stop this train. Once in a while, when it's good, it'll feel like it should, and they're all still around, and you're still safe and sound, and you don't miss a thing till you cry when you're driving away in the dark, singing stop this train. I wanna get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in, but I know I can't. 'Cause now I see we'll never stop this train.
Thank you so much. I would like to introduce to you now Reverend Patti Perhacs, who comes to us almost every month with a beautiful message. And this month, her message is an infusion of life's wisdom. Reverend Patti Perhacs.
Thank you, Maryann. Thank you for that wonderful meditation. And certainly Mila and Marco, the music, always perfect. Inspiring. That last song, the last message in the song is perfect for today's topic. So, well done. It's great when things come all together, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, so today we just have this little topic of wisdom. And what I thought we'd do is we take some time to contemplate our own life. And in doing so, I hope we'll all receive inspiration from our soul's wisdom and seeing our way to greater acceptance and happiness and joy and light and vigor in which to live life as we connect with our higher self and the message in and of our own life. From time to time, and certainly as we age, I think we all think about our life and the path that we choose or chose and what we learned along the way, what we did and what we didn't do, and why we may have made those choices, whether out of fear, whether out of expectation. Well, that's a big one, right? Expectation from family, parents, partners, husbands, wives, children, siblings, all of that, right? We get a lot projected on us. And what we want to do is, really take a look at that and see how that affected our life. Just take an assessment. And not to judge it, but to gain the wisdom and more so the understanding from it. At times, I contemplate my life on this planet, and I probably do this more in the last few years. And I think about if I were to leave the earth tomorrow, would I be satisfied with my contributions? And I think of this in terms of obituaries, right? What would my obituary say? I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at it, because the obituary is, where we sum up in a paragraph, a handful of words in the newspaper, the summation of this person's life. And we know we have so much more, and each individual has so much more than that singular paragraph. But it's to take an assessment of, would I be satisfied with what I did in this life? Should I be satisfied with it? Am I happy with the contributions? Did I make contributions to the greater good? Did I make a positive imprint on my friends, on my family, on strangers, on seekers? Did I make my work meaningful to me rather than just going to work and finding agony in each and every moment? And did I do my work to help others? And did I bring that blessing of spirit through me to my work, to my business, to my spiritual community? Was I a positive influence on the world, and did I enjoy my life and all the people I attracted to me? And if I didn't, why? What can I learn from those individuals? What wisdom, what understanding did they help to bring forth to me in my life? And then, of course, the big one, do I have any regrets? As the song goes, regrets, I've had a few, but I did it my way, right? And that's okay, and regrets is kind of a sticky word. People think of it as a bad connotation, but I think what it really is just that awareness of things that you may have realized or decided in this particular moment of assessment that you didn't take maybe some of the steps you wish you had taken. And now, with this greater wisdom and understanding, you know why. And that's okay, because perhaps there's an opportunity to correct a step or to create something in your life now that that was foregone at a different time in your life. And, when I think about my life, I still think about, okay, there's still a big path ahead of me, right? Because isn't that what we all envision and visualize for ourselves? And I think about, and certainly in this next chapter of my life, I think about, what am I going to bring to my life for my own joy, as well as the greater good of this world. And I believe that every life experience provides us with the potential of wisdom. And I think that is a blessing in itself. And sometimes we aren't aware, and we certainly can't always see the blessing at the time, or the wisdom, or the understanding perhaps we haven't yet gained. And that's why we have to take the time to contemplate, right? And to feel, because otherwise it's lost on us. So it's good to reflect. It's good to reflect and to remember and see our experiences, and to remember that we experience and see life based on the level of our consciousness, our awareness, our understanding, then, if it was 20 years ago, and now, in the present. We want to see things not through the eyes of ourself, but through the eyes and the understanding and the mind of the I am. We want to see through God's eyes, through our creation through God's eyes, our worldly situation that we're all so dealing with now through God's eyes. We don't want to be limited through our level of understanding today, and not to suggest that isn't a very high attainment of your consciousness, but to recognize the power of that wisdom, of that insight through spirit, through the divine self. Jesus, Yogananda, all the masters taught us to use our divine wisdom and to express it through our compassionate heart. And we achieve this by waking up. You know, there's this bad connotation out in the world right now. They say, those woke people. And I always think like, yeah, I'm awake. You know, and we all want to be awake, right? We want to be awake with that vibrant energy, that wisdom of divine mind. Not this earth plane stuff, but that greater good of who we are, who we inherently are. In Ephesians 5, verse 17, Paul talks to us, and I'm paraphrasing, and he basically says, awake. You are asleep. He's telling us to wake up because we're asleep. We're asleep, and so often, moment to moment, as the day goes by, to that divinity of who we are. And he says, awake and arise so the Christ can shine through you, upon you, through you. So remember that when we get caught, right, in our days, or when we judge things or others or ourselves harshly, to awake, to awaken. So we're reflecting on wisdom right now and today, and there's two predominant types of wisdom, right? There's our life, our worldly wisdom, which occurs, you know, as we go about our business of life, and much like a child, we come wiser through our trials and our errors. And then there's spiritual wisdom, which is fed through that intuitive part of ourself, that spiritual intuition, that internal knowing, that feeling, that sensing, that voice of spirit that sometimes you hear, sometimes you just feel in your heart, in your tummy. It encourages us. It guides us. It helps us to discern what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and which path to take. It can even tell us who to marry, right? You get that sense, you just know of this partner or this person that has come into your life. When we think about wisdom, we know that it allows us to help us better create our path and certainly learn from it for our soul's evolution and our life evolution of why we're here, right? I liken spiritual wisdom to a flashlight that you use in the dark. And doesn't that not show us often what's right in front of us? Wisdom allows us, spiritual wisdom allows us to shine a light on what's right in front of us, because sometimes we just can't see it. Sometimes we don't have eyes to see, so we want to develop this faculty. First, we do that by having the desire to, right? And to recognize that it is, because we are awakened, that it is something within us, something that works through us, that is part of us. We develop the faculty of spirit to be that clear channel, using other terms, to be that clear medium in which to receive and to feel and to channel that out into the world and certainly our lives, to allow it to direct us so we can see clearly, because there's a lot of pollution out there and sometimes in our own mind's eye. Wisdom leads to understanding, and it's one of our empowering capabilities, one of our 12 powers as taught by Unity. and the Fillmores when they were studying the life of Jesus. And this power of spiritual wisdom is located in the pit of our stomach physically. And often we feel that, right? We say, I had this feeling in my stomach, or your solar plexus. And that's the intuitive knowing. A simple example of that is, maybe you're driving somewhere that you always go to, and you go a certain path, you go a certain way, and you take the certain roads day after day, week after week, year after year, perhaps. And then one morning, you're impressed to go a different way. That's what I would say, you're impressed. You feel this urge to go a different way. And that's when you take it. You take that path. And then perhaps you find out later there was an accident. And perhaps you don't in that other journey, but perhaps there might have been. But there is a reason you have that feeling, and that's just a very simple example. But I think what's important and what's to be gained from that example is we're being told which way to go if we just listen and feel with our sensory, not just that internal voice that we keep running quite a bit in our own mind, in our own head. Throughout the ages, the masters and philosophers provided us with a lot of wisdom, great nuggets. And from my perspective, wisdom, spiritual wisdom, combined with our life experiences, brings us a great deal of understanding. And isn't that what Jesus taught us through his life and the recounting of his life by his disciples in the Bible? Confucius says life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And I loved that when I read that, and I thought, isn't that true? How often do we complicate things? How often do I rethink things? My wife always says I have to pick up like 8 cantaloupes before I choose one, because I want to make sure I get the right one, and then I usually go back to that first one. And that's because the first one was my inclination of what to choose. It was my direction, the divine direction, and that's why, like Confucius says, don't complicate your life. It's really simple. There's a French proverb that reads, wherever life plants you, bloom with grace. And that just says to me, there's always goodness and growth and opportunity. With grace, of course, is with spirit. The activities, the joys, and the sorrows in life that have occurred to you, that have occurred to me, that we have created in our life, that are here for our learning and our knowledge, is all part of our path to transformation and our path to self-realization, as Yogananda called it. In one way or another, we have to bring forth different experiences for our spiritual development. There's certain things we have to learn, and we're going to create opportunities for us to learn those. And sometimes they're very hard, right? We know that, and I don't want to minimize that. But through these lessons we grow, and through the greater wisdom we gain through these lessons, we gain understanding. And when you look at the spiritual body, understanding comes after wisdom, because you have to have the wisdom, you have to hear it before you can understand it. So I believe that through truth principles, through the laws of natural laws, knowledge and spiritual wisdom, everything happens for a reason. So when I came upon a Facebook post this week, and it was just, I think, like Wednesday, I have to tell you, I was already going in another direction in my mind for a Sunday message today. I was going to be speaking in colorology. I've already put some slides together to help illustrate the teaching. And I saw this, and I had to change my topic. Because when I came upon this Facebook post, and it was a Facebook post of a friend who posted something that, I don't know, they probably read on somebody else's page, because when I looked at the date, it was more than a year ago. But for some reason, Spirit brought this to my attention. So I didn't want to ignore it, because I realized there was something that I should be sensing here and something I should be paying attention to. So I want to read that to you. And I hope, like I did when I read it to myself, that you will open your mind and your heart wide and let your sensory take over. Feel the energy of this letter from a woman named Carrie, who is now in the world of spirit. Excuse me. She opens with, if you're reading this freaking, she used a different word, brain cancer probably got me. But let me be crystal clear while I'm able. I did not lose a battle against cancer. This is ridiculous. It's a steamy pile of, you know what, that society has dumped on cancer patients. Western medicine, Western culture especially, is so uncomfortable talking about death that instead it created this battle analogy that basically, in her feelings, shames people who died from cancer. She says, newsflash, none of us gets out of this rodeo called life alive. There is no shame in dying of cancer or any illness, and it doesn't need to be a battle. It's a transition that each of us will go through. She said she was asked by a shaman whom I spoke to, she said, after my second brain surgery. And he said, are you running towards life or are you running away from death? She said, whoa, that got my attention. There's a big difference. She said, I got it wrong more often than not. She says, don't let fear fuel your choices. Live fearlessly. Run towards life. And don't worry about what other people think. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Focus on you. Be true to yourself. Be your own best friend. People who tell you you're selfish are not your people. If the voice in your head says unkind things, get a new voice. Honor your mental health and seek out a good therapist with the same vigor that you'd search for a romantic partner. Speaking of, she says, be intentional about cultivating friendships that lift you up. And as those friendships grow and change, don't overlook them while you search for the great love of your life. Another unhelpful message, she says, is that we get from society is that we need to have a love in our life as a romantic partner. She goes on to write, single and childless, when I was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, I looked around my life and came up sputtering and sobbing from the wave of grief that washed over me. I thought I'd be doing this alone. No husband, no kids, no great love. How wrong I was. At the first appointment with my neuro-oncologist, one of the nurses diligently hauled in chair after chair for the great loves of my life who came with me this horrible day and many days after that. She said, I sat and listened while the doctor explained the 12-month treatment program. Focusing on my breathing, I then looked around the room, filled with the great loves of my life. Incredible women friends whom I had met at various stages of my life. She tells us to surround yourself with people who contradict that unkind voice, people who see your light and remind you who you are, an amazing soul. She says, learn how to receive these reflections from your people because they are speaking the truth. Love yourself no matter how weird and silly it might feel. Every morning, give yourself a big hug before your feet hit the floor. Look deeply into your eyes in the mirror and say to yourself out loud, I trust you. Let that voice in your head might say, you're a dork. She says, ignore it. As I prepare to leave this body and embark on the mysterious journey of my soul, I hope these observations from my deathbed are somehow useful. She says, what I know deep in my bones is that learning to love myself has led me to be able to say this. I am so proud of how I lived. May you, dear reader, feel the same when you head out on your soul's journey too. Until then, enjoy the ride and always eat dessert first, especially if it's pie. I kind of just sit with that for a second and just feel that energy of love. Love she wanted to share with her friends and her family. The love and gratitude I felt anyway from her letter for life, for those people in her lives that showed her love comes in many different forms, and it's not defined by what others in society might say it should look like. That love is love. Wisdom. Lots of wisdom in there, isn't there? And for that matter, Mac, could you bring up the slide that we provided? Oh, thank you. I have my copy here because I'll never see the little one in the back of the room. The first one was just huge, and it just hit me. I'm sure it hit you as well. Don't run from life or death or fear. Run towards life. How often do we catch ourselves hesitating to take that next step on our journey of something that interests us, of an opportunity to develop a talent, of a new job perhaps, because it isn't the way we necessarily looked at ourselves or thought of ourselves or felt ourselves capable. And it's only in, I think, those moments and those times we take the steps in those situations that we really bring that fullness of our God self and our opportunity and our wisdom of God to flow through us. And know that Spirit is with you each and every step of the way. So lean in to Spirit, lean in to life. She says, don't let fear fuel your choices, live fearlessly. And we talk about that, comes up a lot on Sundays, doesn't it? It comes up a lot in our lives, that we let fear get in our way. And what I say to that is take a chance on you. Be active in your thoughts and your actions, and know that you are capable. You have all 12 powers within you. You have God flowing through you. So cast your bread upon the water, and you will find it in many days, it says in Ecclesiastics. And that's really just about trusting the creative force, and whether we're talking about our financial abundance or other opportunities in our life. Trust without fear. She says, affirm the greatness of who you are. And I think we all can say amen to that. And we talk about that. Think of yourself when you're not feeling so great. And just say aloud, I am Jan, a child of God. And my favorite, which I share with you often, I am the resurrection and the light. And that helps me refrain. And helps inspire me. And it lifts me up. She said, focus on you. Be true to yourself. Don't worry about what others think. Now, geez, is that a hard one? Like, I can tell you, I think probably you are like me in your teens and you're into your 20s. You're always worried about what other people think, And we still get caught up in that, Maryann and I were talking about that just earlier, about appearances. And you should just don't worry about it. As it is written, don't be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. She says, don't listen to your negative self-talk. And I love that she said, get a new voice, one that lifts you up. And that, for me, is just our practice of denials and affirmations to help us to change that way of thinking. Be intentional about cultivating friendships with those who see your light and remind you that you are an amazing soul. Receive the reflections. That's a hard one for us sometimes, right? Sometimes we can't take that in when people compliment us. And when you find yourself or feel yourself wanting to deny that when they compliment you or share how you've maybe touched them, just take a breath and take it in. Let them share their love with you and receive it. Receive the reflection. She says to love yourself and be your own best friend. Give yourself a hug and say, I trust you. Because who are we really trusting when we say that? We're trusting us as that vehicle who carries that God essence, that God spirit, that Christ light forward. Enjoy life's ride. Have some fun. Eat dessert. Who can argue with that, right? That's certainly a good nugget of wisdom. Seeking joy in each day, and we really want to make sure we do that and have a mind of gratitude. She didn't specifically say that, but I think that came through in her writings, to have a grateful mind. Wisdom. Cora Dietrich Fillmore says in Christ Enthroned in Man, and I just wanted to read this little excerpt. Every soul has free access to the source of wisdom within. As we approach the divine source of wisdom and begin to realize our oneness with it, we find that we are evolving a higher intelligence than that of the intellect, and that we are learning the greatest of all sciences, the science of mind. We find the primal principles of being, and being is a capital B, so she means of a pure being, of God, of that creative essence, are pure ideas, that these ideas express themselves in pure words and thoughts. You'll know, she's saying you'll know divine wisdom because it's always good. It's always pure. It's always light. It doesn't condemn. So she encourages us to work with that. And I hope we'll all do that. I hope we'll take this inspiration of this contemplation of this message and presentation about wisdom, but more so that we'll be sparked to contemplate the wisdom of our life, the sharings of Carrie, and how some of her wisdoms we could maybe perhaps learn from and apply more vigorously to our life. And allow ourselves to bring forth those divine qualities of who we are. Spirit, of course. Maybe you'll be more gentle with yourself, or perhaps just the opposite. Maybe you'll push yourself a little harder to run forward and seize the day, whether it be to develop a new talent, to pursue a new career path, whatever it may be. Go for it. Run towards life rather than sit on the sidelines. Maybe you'll challenge yourself to stretch, to overcome fear, to make a change. Maybe you'll be inspired to use your powers for good. So let us pause in life, and from this point forward, let us strive to see the things through our I am consciousness, through our divine mind. And to take comfort in knowing that that wisdom is always there for us and often guides us. Just pay attention and listen to it. Don't shrug it off. Don't ignore it. Don't say, no, I want to go this other way. Listen. Live life with passion. Know what's important to you. Question why. Bring it inside and feel what you're being told, and be vigilant over your thoughts and your words. Be grateful, lead in love, be compassionate, because that's the truth of who you are. I hope these words find acceptance in your heart, and that you have fun today as you pay attention to that God working powerfully in you, through you, as you, and directing you in your life. Let's just now take one moment and take a deep breath as we take this into a prayerful affirmation. And as you sit up in your seat, you can feel your strength center located at the base of your spine, connecting to that powerful energy we call Mother Earth, flowing up your silver cord that runs along your spine. And at the same time, you feel that beautiful energy of the Christ light shining forth as the light of God comes through your crown. You are filled with this effervescence as we affirm divine wisdom is awakened within me. Divine wisdom is awakened within me, and my soul rejoices. And so it is. Thank you. It's been my pleasure. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Patti. We'd like to also thank Kate in spirit for sharing those wisdom teachings to us, and we bless her on her continued journey. Now I'd like to invite our friend Jan to come forth and share the prosperity practice with us.
So thank you today for joining us in our prosperity practice. You know, in our spiritual practice here at Unity, we recognize that it's through God's unlimited supply that each one of us is prosperous in all our affairs. And we gratefully recognize and acknowledge the many ways that prosperity has expressed itself in our lives. We know that when we give freely, without fear of lack or limitation, we demonstrate our trust. We understand that God's unlimited supply is always available. As we give, we share in God's abundance and are blessed in all aspects of our lives. With this assurance in your heart and mind, please hold your offering in your hand as we express our prayer of gratitude together. It's coming. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful.
Let us have another song as we collect our offering and prepare for our announcements. And the song is Blessing to the World. Would you like to stand as we sing? I think that's a good one.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world.
That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your generous hearts and your giving to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. We uplift these donations and these gifts to continue this ministry of spiritual truth here in Pittsburgh. We thank each and every one of you for coming this Sunday. And we have some exciting upcoming announcements. I'd like to first invite Donna. Donna Hamaluski is one of our members, and she's going to talk about the most current upcoming event, which is the White Elephant Bingo.
All right. I have my sign-up sheet for you. I'm going to pass it around again. We have 11 people coming for White Elephant Bingo, which is a combination of 2 games. It's actually bingo, and then when you win, you get to select a gift that's in a bag that we all brought, and you have a choice of either keeping that gift or taking one from someone else, and they get to pick another one. So it kind of gets into this kind of fun. It's this coming Saturday at 6:30. Refreshments will be served, and sign up and bring a friend. That would be fun too. Thanks, guys.
That definitely sounds fun. Then I would also like to let everybody know about July 31st, which is an upcoming guest speaker. Just in a few weeks, his name is Dr. Doug Knuven, and Doug is a holistic veterinarian. He is not here to talk about pets, however. He is here to talk on behalf of one of the teachers that he has studied is Edgar Cayce. I mean, you may have heard of Edgar Cayce, and also the Course in Miracles. And he has a great insight on healing. And so he's going to be bringing forth the topic, which is healing with divine light and love. And he will also be incorporating some scientific evidence for how we heal ourselves. So that is July 31st, and we're going to have Doug here in the sanctuary, and afterwards we're going to have some light refreshments and get to meet him and talk to him a little more personally. So I hope you can come on July 31st. And I also now like to invite, we've had some new committees being formed. One of them is membership outreach, which is a committee that is encouraging anyone interested in growing this community to reach out to Kenna Raymond or Mike Hamaluski and just say, hey, I'd like to be a part of the committee, and I'd like to bring forth ideas of how we can interconnect with other groups and other people. But I'd also like to invite Julie Monkern, who is our new vice president on the board, and she's going to talk to us about the beautification committee.
Hi, everyone. And I just had to share my cup with everyone. The one I selected today is Live in the Wow. And I have to say about this service today, wow. It is so, just the energy here is so uplifting. The music, the talks, everything. So encourage everybody at home. If you're able to come in, it's just a whole nother experience. It's really wonderful to be together in community. And carrying on with the synchronicities of the music, with the talk, I was not aware of the daily word, which is generous. And it was, as I give, I share God's abundance. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about selfless service. And it's a wonderful way to deepen your spiritual practice. And what Jan also shared is that selfless service is to give for the benefit of others without any expectation of personal gain. But we've all served before, and so inevitably you end up feeling better anytime you help another. So because we all are supporting each other in our spiritual journeys, I want to really encourage people to sign up for any of these new committees that we have. We do have like a full board now, and so we're going to actually create a database. So if you have time and talent that you want to share with us, we encourage you to connect with us. But we want it to be a joyful service. Follow your joy. So if there's something that you see that speaks to you, please sign up. If you want to serve but you're not sure how, still connect with us. And we're going to keep this database so as we have things evolving and coming about, we can reach out to you and say, hey, we have something new. Would you like to join us? So yeah, and you'll know, you'll follow your gut, right? And whatever speaks to you, you'll join in with us. So you can go to unityofpittsburgh.org, and not only is that a great website with many wonderful resources, but it'll show you how to connect with us. And you can share your talent with us. We all have our special talent that we can use to benefit others. Or you can email that unityofpittsburgh@gmail.com. So thank you all in advance for your help. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jolie. So I would like to now close our service by thanking everyone for being with us this morning. It was a beautiful service. And let us finish with our closing prayer together. The light of God surrounds me. I am light. The love of God enfolds me. I am love. The power of God protects me. I am power. The presence of God watches over me. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Amen. Have a beautiful week. See you next time.